Hey guys, today's video is going to be a step-by-step eyebrow tutorial routine so that I can show you guys the way I achieved this natural brow that I have going on. The video is going to be strictly focused on brows, so I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys want to see how I achieved this natural brow look, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to start off, like I said, with the same brow pencil that I used last time, which is the Maybelline Brow Precise pencil. I always start off with just like brushing out my brows. The hardest part for me was definitely learning how to fill in my brows. So I just wanted to give a step-by-step tutorial. And I don't know, I just really feel like the gist behind, like the trick behind filling in your brows is just to remember, like, you aren't drawing per se, you're more so feeling, because if you do it like you're drawing, you're gonna have all kind of harsh lines that you don't want, and I don't know, they're just gonna look real strong. Don't want your eyebrows to look strong, you want them to look natural. And it's better to always start off with a sharpened pencil, that way it's more precise. A dull pencil is going to, I don't know, give you just like bigger, harsher lines. Whereas with the more sharp and precise pencil, you can easily do those light strokes that I was telling y'all about. So really I'm just filling in the empty space. So what you're gonna wanna do is start by first following along the line of the bottom of your eyebrows. So you're gonna wanna start by filling in that bottom line. Then you're gonna wanna move to the top line and fill those in first. That way you go ahead and carve out that shape that you want. So I've already done the top and the bottom, you know, the way that I want them. And that's when you can go inside and fill in any empty spaces. And by empty spaces, I mean, like, you can see these light spaces right here. That's what I mean by empty spaces. And you're just gonna wanna fill them in with light strokes. So if you have like fairly full brows, it might not take that much. It might not take you as long as someone who has really thin eyebrows. Like I said, the objective isn't to draw on whole new brows. It's really just to fill in the spaces where, you know, your hairs might be a little bit thinner. Okay, so I kind of have that shape, you know, the way that I want it. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm going to conceal underneath my brow. Typically, you wanna use a concealer that is like a shade, and if you really wanna get funky, a shade or two lighter than your skin and your foundation color. That way you get that highlight underneath your brow, but you don't want anything that's gonna be too light and too crazy. So again, I'm going to be using my Makeup Revolution concealer, Conceal and Define concealer, and I'm in the shade C13. I like to put a little bit of my concealer on the back of my hand instead of using the whole brush, because you can't really just get a precise, like if you see the brush, you can't really just get a precise shape with this brush. It's just too big. So you're gonna wanna go in with the more angled makeup brush in order to kind of really paint and carve out the shape that you want. I like to get a generous amount. We're going to start underneath the brow, and we're just going to trace along the bottom line of our brow to really carve out that shape that we want. As I get to the arch, I'm going to kind of turn it at an angle, and then I'm going to go down. I'm going to take a little bit more just for the sake of coverage. And typically, if you do a good enough job on shaping your brow, you shouldn't have to go above to highlight. When I first started out my brows, I did, just because I wasn't all the way confident and sure with the way I was feeling in my brows. So I would use some concealer on the top to kind of correct and really carve out that shape even more. But you have to be careful with that, and you have to really make sure you're using a natural concealer, a natural colored concealer if you're gonna go on top as well, just because you can really, it can be too bright under your foundation. So you wanna make sure that you're using a natural color concealer, especially if you're gonna go on top. I don't know, I went somewhere and I had a really bad experience with eyebrow threading, and they took out the arch on this eyebrow. So I always have to be very mindful when I'm filling in this brow, because it's much more rounded than it is angled. So I kind of have to create that angle, which is the great part about being able to fill in your brows, because you can create shapes, you know, that you might not have naturally if you really just practice at it. You know, don't rush. Take your time. This is definitely not a process that you want to rush on. Okay. So now that we have everything all highlighted and whatnot, I'm going to take a normal blending brush and I'm going to just blend it out. So I'm just kind of blending the line right there. And I like to focus a little bit right here, because sometimes you can have a really harsh line from your concealer right here in this area. And we always want to make sure our makeup is natural, so we don't want those harsh lines. Okay. After I'm done with that, I like to take my beauty blender and I take the remaining product that was from my hand and I put it onto my eyelid and I blend it out. I'm sorry if you can hear that dog barking in the background. It's always going crazy. I don't know whose dog that is. Okay. Then I'm just gonna take a little bit more product and I'm going to dab it on my eyelid. That way, especially for us dark skinned girls, you can lighten your eyes so that eyeshadow takes to your face, takes to your eyes better, and really like you know, it shows up and you can see it. Yo, that dog is going ham. So now that I've concealed my entire eyelid area, I'm going to set it with my FitMe, Maybelline FitMe Loose Finishing Powder, so that it won't move. And just to ensure that the shadow, like I said earlier, really takes to the area. Okay, so now that we're all set, I'm going to take our eyeshadow. I'm just gonna do a little something. This routine is mostly to focus on the brows. So I'm not gonna do a lot. I'm just gonna pop a little color into my crease, do my foundation, and we're gonna close this video out. Okay, you guys, so I went off screen to finish up my foundation because, like I said, this video is strictly focused on my eyebrow routine. And I'll be sure to do a foundation routine as well so that we can get that complexion down, a more in-depth, you know, detailed step-by-step foundation routine, the same way I did the eyebrow routine. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the final look. Hope you guys liked it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.